Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I am Chris Holman, and we have with us right now Patrick Dean. He's the Vice President of Business Development at Dean Transportation. And Patrick, it's always good to have you on. How you doing?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the program here, and excited to talk a little bit about travel and tourism and everything going on in our world.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about Dean Transportation. You do a variety of things. Let's remind everybody what those things are.
Yeah, well, thank you. So we're a family business based in Lansing. We provide transportation for school districts and municipalities and colleges across our state. We also do private transportation for charter buses, athletic teams, and so on. We're a family business, as I mentioned, over 60-year history, and we're proud of what we do every day, being a Michigan-based, pure Michigan company.
You know, ironically, I remember the day you started with ownership, and I remember the day the company was started. I mean, it's a long, wonderful history, and now you're there as director of development. How is that all going? Because you've got other family working there too.
Yeah, I get the great honor to work with my dad, Kelly Dean, who's our CEO. He's been in this industry for 35 years, was a teacher before that, took a leap of faith to ever get into what was the special education student transportation business, and has grown from there almost 35 years ago. And I also get a chance to work with my brother, Christopher. So Chris has his undergrad and master's in engineering. So he takes a very different approach to his thought process. So we all complement each other well. My background's finance, and so we triangulate decisions, and it's been really good to work together in a family business and organization. And at Dean Transportation and Dean Trailways, we've got a long history of veteran staff and industry experts amongst all of our departments. So it's been a great journey, and I'm blessed to have been here now 15 years and working in various departments, overseeing day-to-day business.
Well, and you and your brother are now grooming the next generation. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, even our kids are involved in the business and run around the office every once in a while. So, that's really been the fabric of our business is family first. And so we've been proud of that throughout our history. We compete against a lot of multinational companies in our transportation industry. And so being a family business, able to respond with personal commitment and integrity and respect and community orientation is really the fabric of who we are as an organization.
Yeah, and not only that, it's almost extended family, because I happen to know the relationship you have with your employees. And so at those critical positions, you don't have a lot of turnover because of that.
We have a great veteran group, and that's primarily for our history of being in transportation. So we provide school bus transportation, public transit, and motor coach transportation. We have some of the best in the industry who have committed. Many of them have worked a full career before joining us in the school bus world and motor coach world. And they really will acknowledge that's one of the most rewarding opportunities and positions they've ever had in their lifetime. Our job is unique that we have a chance to impact students and provide them access many times to special programs, whether that's education or community-based instruction or other activities to get life experiences. And so our drivers and attendants can be part of that. And it's pretty fulfilling and pretty cool to hear a lot of the stories and relationships that are built over time.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you give some flexibility too. Let's talk a little bit about that talent issue, because everybody is suffering from that. It is a very difficult circumstance. I would suggest that you probably have that same challenge.
Absolutely. COVID pandemic really affected our industry when a lot of our services were shut down for an extended period of time. So a lot of folks had to look for a lot of different industries that were operating and needed roles. So we lost some folks during that time. However, we've hired more back, and we're excited because we're seeing a trajectory of folks wanting to have flexible work environments. We're seeing a younger demographic of folks coming to us. But you're right, it definitely is a challenge. Our jobs require a lot of federal and state licensing requirements, and so it takes some time to be hired and go through the process before you can even go on the road and start your position. So we're doing some things to incentivize that. We're also developing technicians, so mechanics, diesel mechanics, and auto mechanics are a big shortage across the country. And so we're doing some things unique to develop our own technicians at even the high school and college level, to bring them onto our team. So, we're not unique. This is a global issue, United States issue, but we think we're doing better than most, being a family business and having that flexibility to really welcome people to our Dean team.
So another big part of your culture there is benevolence, I would say, is a good way to describe it, and being part of your community and giving back. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, we, again, believe in the communities that we serve. We are a transportation resource, an extension of all of our communities, whether that's the education system or the safety departments within our communities. And so if we can lend a hand wherever we're at, whether that's with group transportation, emergency transportation, or even give some time and talents towards nonprofit activities, that's the fabric of who we are. And that starts back to my dad and his special education background, and really is a cornerstone of Dean Transportation and Dean Trailways.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I specifically wore my AARP jacket here because on the very day that this interview is taking place, we have a thing called Experience for Hire, which is exactly where you guys go. It's bringing retirees back in for flex schedule, et cetera. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are part of that. So we appreciate.
We're proud to be.
Yeah. All right. Always good to talk to you, Patrick Dean. He's the Vice President of Business Development at Dean Transportation, and give my best to your dad, your brother, and the rest of the family as well. Your mother's an old friend.
Thank you, Chris. Always good to see you.
All right. Take care. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. Stick around. We've got more ahead.